This is the U.S. Soccer Podcast, your number one source for all the behind-the-scenes information and getting to know the biggest characters around U.S. soccer. Your hosts, David Goss and Megan Klingenberg here. Once again, Kling, we've got a phenomenal show coming up. The U.S. women's national team has knocked off Ireland twice, 4-0 in back-to-back games. The U.S. men's national team gave me an ulcer, but survived somehow against Costa Rica. They are into the Gold Cup semifinal. Kling, it's the summer of soccer, and we've got a lot to talk about.
We do, and it has been so fun to watch, minus the ulcers, obviously. But I just love summer because I feel like you get Euros, you get Gold Cup, you get USWNT friendlies. Like, there's just so much soccer going on, and you could turn on your TV to any sports channel and just land on something right now.
Yeah, and for the men headed to the semifinal of the Gold Cup, they will face off against Guatemala. But our focus here today is on arguably the biggest rivalry in all of women's sports, women's soccer, and that is the U.S. against Canada. It is one of the oldest rivalries, and we figured let's talk about it with one veteran who's been there before, in Lynn Biyendolo, who wore the captain's armband for the U.S. on Sunday, and one of the young players coming into the group in Jordyn Bugg, who's going to get to experience the U.S.-Canada rivalry for the first time in her career.
I think for me, like she said, you can learn from the veterans. I think that you can only really get the experience from experience. Whoa.
It's okay. Start over.
You can only learn how deep the rivalry is from experiencing it. So I think that I'm excited to see what it's like in real time.
USA Canada is always just pure chaos. And we were talking to Lynn and we were talking to Jordyn, and the way that Lynn was describing it was really quite funny because she was saying, hey, I'm going to try my best to prepare you for this, and just know you're not going to be prepared. All you got to do is fight, and then try and play soccer. And it was really fun to hear that as her experience, because that was also my experience playing Canada. Was we're going to fight and we're going to fight and we're going to fight. And then if we get to eventually play soccer, that is going to be a really, really good day.
We talked about a lot of really fun soccer things, and both of them developing as leaders and veterans and as young players into their career, but you didn't care about the soccer. This was your favorite interview I've done so far because we got to dig in on Love Island.
Do you have a favorite Islander?
Ooh.
Or
Right?
couple?
Okay. You go first.
I don't think I have a favorite. Oh, well, I like Amaya now. At first, I didn't really, but I think she's one character you can or a person you can really stick with, because she's just, she's funny, she's herself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Amaya, Shelly, and Sierra would be my top three.
Yeah.
But in general, I need this group of people to get it together.
Yes. Yeah. They're all over the
Get
place.
it together.
Don't we all? Yes, finally, I have been texting about this. I have been trying in the most subtle of ways to bring it into the U.S. Soccer Podcast, where we need to be discussing Love Island on the regular. It is the summer of sport, and it's the summer of Love Island USA. And I'm very excited that both Lynn and Jordyn are huge fans, and they had some hot takes, as well as one of your favorite hosts, me. So it was a pretty fun discussion, and I don't want to give anything away, but if anybody needs the producers to call us and get a little bit of feedback on the show, we're open. We can get you our numbers, and we have strong opinions.
All that and more coming up on the show with Lynn and Jordyn. Well, we are very excited for our next interview, and we had Emma Hayes on last week, but, what's better than one is two, so we figured we'd go with a tandem of interviews, and we do so with club and international teammates, so we are lucky enough to be joined this time by Lynn Biyendolo and Jordyn Bugg.
Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. We are very excited. We're not on the ground with you, but you guys are representing for us in the swamp that is Washington, D.C., which I can't complain
Yeah, it's
not being a part of it. It's been a fun camp so far. Obviously, two 4-0 victories over Ireland. But we want to go back a little before camp started because for you, Jordyn, this is your first call-up. This is your first chance to be with the full team. And we're just curious what your thoughts were when you got called up, as well as then, Lynn, maybe what you said before you got to camp to the young players in Jordyn and Sam Meza that were coming for the first time from Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy to actually make the final roster this time. I think there's been a few times I've gotten the provisional. I think that those moments have always been super cool, especially the first time I got it. But to see the email that I got the final roster was, I mean, a really cool moment. I think that I kind of just froze. I got the email after practice one day. I was in the locker room and I knew that the email was supposed to come that day, so I think I immediately checked my phone. And usually I'm like, oh, I mean, this might happen. And I think that this time it happened. I was really super excited. All my teammates were around me, so I think that they were more visibly excited for me because I don't get like that visibly excited other than like smiling or something. But it was just such a cool moment.
Did you call anybody?
I text my mom. I probably should have called in the moment, but I text her.
We had to go to lift.
Yeah, so. I know. We had to lift right then.
Yeah, you got to put it off before after lift. I mean, it's got to come first. Lynn, it was also a big moment for you as well. You wore the captain's armband around a team that averaged 4 caps each compared to your 81 appearances. What was that experience like for you?
Surreal. I think it's two different surreal moments happening at the same time. One, recognizing that the team around me doesn't have a lot of national team experience, but also recognizing that there are players on the team that have a lot of experience in playing soccer. But then also I'm having my own moment of, I didn't think I would ever get to wear the armband. So to be able to soak that in and like not let that moment pass me, but also recognizing like, okay, I now actually have to do a job of trying to get everybody like on the same page. And it's not necessarily like my job. I think Emma and everybody has taken their own careers into their own hands, but being like, okay, I think my job in that moment was to say, like, just take a deep breath. Like, we're all fine. Yes, some people are stepping onto the field for the first time. Some people are stepping onto the field for the second time. And I think you get nervous no matter how many games you've been in. So just recognizing, like, okay, just take a deep breath. We're all fine, and we're all here for a reason. But it was amazing. Like, I'm going to remember that moment for a very long time.
Jordyn, how'd she do?
Oh, great.
What's the report card?
I thought she did really good. She's always been good, like, with her words and either, like, calming people down. I know that, I mean, I was a little nervous. I think that everyone else that was having their first cap was a little nervous. So I think that she did a great job, like, talking to us, being like, I mean, keep your heads, be cool, be yourself, and just do what you know how to do. So I think, I mean, getting a goal also helps. So I think she did a great job.
It looked like you were having fun out there, Lynn.
I was. I think that, like, at this point in my career, of course, you want to be the best, you want to play your best, but I just want to play with joy and have fun. And I think when I am doing that, I'm at my best. And it's taken me a bit of time to get there. But anytime you're playing with, like, in the words of Megan Rapinoe, tight buttholes, then you're, like, kicking the ball out of bounds. But when you're just, like, loose and smiling and enjoying the moment, I think that it's, like, you get in this really nice flow of, okay, we're, like, a really good soccer team. And that is if you have 100 caps or if you've had 1 cap. Like, the U.S. has always produced really good soccer players. And I hope that that's the message that I left on the field.
I love that. I think that could be the most important message that you could give, especially first-time players, because Jordyn was talking about how much you're thinking and worried about how it's going to be out there when it's your first time. And I think that message of joy resonates, especially coming from a player with so much experience and who's been through a lot of different scenarios with this national team. So that's probably the best that you could have done for them.
Well, do you feel that way? I mean, like, you obviously have a lot of experience too. Like, what was your experience in that?
I feel exactly the same way as you. I wish I learned a little bit earlier in my career that joy equals success, but I did eventually learn it, and I am so grateful for that. I think when I was growing up, the messages that were being told to me is that success is winning, success is goals, success is assists, success is doing well. And I had to kind of reprogram my brain and figure out what success actually did look like for me. And more often than not, as you were saying, when I played with Joy, success did follow. And it was truly a game changer in my career.
Yeah. Have you found that? I hope you find that so much earlier.
Yeah.
I hope
like
you
Joy.
find it now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
We're going to see Jordyn running out like this.
Yeah.
Big smile.
All right.
Smile next time I love
Tone it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Turn it
for
down.
real.
As long as you demand joy, then
Yes.
nothing could go wrong from there on.
Exactly. Having fun.
Exactly.
This Pride Month, the U.S. Soccer Federation is proud to support You Can Play, a group dedicated to making sports a safe and welcoming space for everyone, regardless of gender identity or sexual orientation. When you shop our Pride collection at store.ussoccer.com, a portion of the proceeds goes directly to You Can Play to support their mission. Shop now and show your pride.
Jordyn, you said that Naomi Girma is your role model, and you've trained with her and other San Diego players, which was your local side before going pro. Then you subbed on for her to make your debut. What was that moment like?
A little surreal, especially coming on for my first cap. I think that, on the sidelines, I was watching her play and trying to learn everything I could in that moment. So I think that subbing on for her, seeing her run at me, like giving her a high five, and I think that it was just, surreal in the moment, just running on the field for her for the first time. I'm excited to hopefully play next year at some point, but that was just really exciting moment.
It's probably easier playing next to her than instead of her, I would assume. Lynn, you talk about sort of on the field on Sunday and sort of the responsibility, but in camp otherwise, it's a lot of players who haven't been in this scenario. What is it that you and maybe the other veteran players are trying to do to help players embed and feel part of the fabric and the culture?
Yeah. Well, first, I think you have to get to know everybody. And obviously this is a very short amount of time to do that, but really putting yourself out there and connecting with people and talking to younger people. And I think that you can easily get into okay, we are the older group, we're just going to stick to ourselves, and that's not going to help anybody get up to speed or on the same page. So in the locker room, joking with people, singing the songs, I think you build a relationship and connection there first, and then from there you can demand excellence. And it's not about not making mistakes, because you're going to always make mistakes. We're going to strive to not make a single mistake, but we are all human. And so when that happens, saying to people I'm going to demand better out of you, but also it's okay that you've made a mistake. What is the non-negotiable is your effort on the field, and making sure that that US DNA is always there. But honestly, it's been so easy. I think that this group of women have come, everybody's so willing to soak up the information and put the team first. And I think that, again, that's just a testament to every single person Emma has brought in, and also her staff and the way that she coaches. She's bringing people in that are willing and wanting to learn, who are really good at soccer, and also who are like fully invested. So that does make, I think, the veterans' jobs a bit easier, and also like this seamless transition of, okay, so we had another starting 11. The standard is still the same standard as when the first starting 11 against Ireland went out there.
That's so interesting. And Jordyn, I've heard that you're on the quieter side. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I get more loud when I get more comfortable and spend more time with people. But yeah, I would say I'm more quiet.
Well, there's a lot of, like, as Lynn was saying, there's probably a lot of pressure to be social in this new environment. How do you balance showing up for others while still being yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a little hard, but at the same time, like, everyone's different, and I think that everyone needs different things. So I think that being in this environment, everyone's made me feel comfortable talking. So I think that everyone's super easy to talk to. So I think when I need to talk and like really want to talk, like, I think it's been easy to talk to everyone. So I think that being in this environment with people that are super friendly and willing to like adapt to your quietness, I guess, is, just super helpful in general. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to speak for Jordyn, but I do think that when like, if you're quiet and somebody keeps saying like, you need to talk, you need to talk, you need to talk, you need to talk, that's not going to help somebody talk. And so I think like meeting people where they're at is super important. So it is nice to hear that, because you don't know what people are thinking sometimes, but it's nice to hear that that is what you need. It's just like meeting her where she's at and like letting her open up in her own time.
Totally. And quietness is a trait you share with some of the most impactful leaders this team has ever had. Becky Sauerbrunn, I think Naomi Girma's more in this area, and, famously soft-spoken, yet their presence is impossible to ignore. Do you see your quiet as a kind of superpower?
Yeah, I would say being more reserved has its, pros. I would say I'm super observant, so though I'm not talking, I'm always listening, so I hear the things people say, and if we do have later conversations, I do incorporate the things that I do hear. So I think that being quiet is, it is kind of a superpower in itself. Yeah,
truly is. And it's one that I didn't really appreciate until I got older, because I didn't understand the power of the people that are listening and the people that are able to read the room and the situation. And I'll tell you what, if I didn't have people like Becky around me on teams, it would have been a wild situation if I was the only one leading.
Like, why aren't you talking? Why aren't you yelling at me? She's like, because you're doing enough of that.
Exactly.
Lynn, we wanted to ask you, because you scored again this weekend. You've scored a couple goals this year, and for some people who maybe hadn't watched, you did it with a different last name, and you carry that name on the jersey and on the field. And just curious what you sort of, when you step out there now, what you're hoping to represent it and what it means to you to sort of carry that name out on the field and put in goals like you did against Ireland.
Yeah, so originally I wasn't going to change my name on my jersey. I am a strong believer that I did this, Williams, and I also think that my parents helped me through this. It wasn't just I became the US Women's National Team player and did all these things. They took me to soccer tournaments, all this stuff. And at my wedding, my dad was like, I think you should change your name on your jersey. And so that obviously I started bawling, because it was just not something I expected. Right. And then when I was talking to Marley, who's my husband, and just the state of our country right now, what I think is really cool is Biyendolo is an African last name, and it's Congolese. And I think when I'm doing something great and an African name is in the lights, it's, I think, very special, especially with the state of our country and with the administration that we have right now. And I think that that's something that I hold near and dear to my heart and have a lot of pride in. So every single time I go out there and I hear that name in the stands, I think it's amazing, but it's just special because of what's going on in our nation.
It is really special, and I love how thoughtful you are about it. I think there's this expectation that women will just change their names when they get married, and I love how you've come to this decision and really thought through it, and we're incredibly you made the decision with a lot of thought behind it. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm of course always going to be Williams through and through. But if you really get to the root of it, is Williams my ancestor's last name? No. And is Biyendolo an African true last name? Yes. So the history of it, my last name probably was more African. And so that is something that I want to get back to the roots of. And again, I can't say enough how just disappointed in this administration I am. And if there is one way I can protest that by putting an African name on, I will.
I love hearing that in Pride Month.
Yeah, of course.
Jordyn, speaking of big life decisions, you had one pretty recently, going pro at such a young age, joining Seattle at the end of last season. What went into those decisions, and was it scary at all?
I would say more like I wouldn't say scary. I'd say I was a little not anxious. I don't even know. I guess scary would be the word, because I was like a few weeks away from going to college. I was up in Seattle for ECNL playoffs, and right before then I had trained with Seattle. And before I even came to Seattle, I wasn't set on going pro. I was going to college, and I think that what ultimately like led to the decision was just knowing my future goals. And I think that going pro was the fastest way to, I wouldn't say fastest way to get there, but like putting myself in the best position to get to where I wanted to be. I think getting into the pro environment, like getting as much experience as you can like early, definitely helps your growth in this environment. So I think that knowing that I was going to get into this environment quickly and being able to play with the best players was just like the best thing for me. So it was a really hard decision, because I was super excited to go to college, get the experience, because all my friends always talked about like, oh, let's go to college, like you can go to parties and you can go to parties, and then just like you're a changed person after college. But I think that ultimately knowing what I wanted to do in the future, this was like the best path to take.
Is Seattle not hosting parties? Do we have to worry about that?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Lynn, what the heck?
You guys, I am too old to be going to parties with her.
Can you at least host a barbecue, Lynn?
Okay, you guys, a funny story though. We were at one of our teammates' house like after a game, and I was asking one of the younger teammates on our team, and I was like, how are you guys like meeting people? Like, are you getting out there? And they were like, I don't know. And I made a joke saying, Marley can take you guys to a UW party. And then after another game, like maybe 3 weeks later, her mom comes up to me and goes, I hear Marley's going to take the girls to a UW party. And I was like, what? And then I would like go to another parent, and they were like, said the same thing. And then another person, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have volunteered you to take them out so you can watch over them. So I had to go home and be like, Marley, you have to take them to a UW party, but I do feel like it's a little inappropriate considering that you're old.
He can wait outside.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the car running.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a follow-up after this happens.
Yeah.
But like, how are you guys meeting people? Like, what are you doing?
Honestly, nothing. I could be doing more, but I mean, I have some friends that are connected to people at UW, so I think that maybe next season will be a little different.
You guys got to get up there.
I know. We have to try to incorporate ourselves a little bit.
Okay. Because the issue is like, yeah, of course I can host a team event, but they're just still hanging out with the same people.
It's true.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But this is a huge part of the change we've seen, right? Jordyn is a part of this wave of like under 18 signings and all of this, which is going pro at a younger age. And like there has to be a culture built around it of still having the life experiences. Jordyn, you're not the one who has to solve that, by the way.
Yeah. No.
That's not on you. That's on
Marley.
everyone else.
Yeah, it's Marley.
Marley.
Give him a job to do that.
Switching gears here a little bit. On one side, you've got veterans like Lynn who've lived this battle against Canada over and over. And then on the other side, we have bright-eyed first-timers like Jordyn learning what it really means. Lynn, you've been through the trenches. Jordyn, you're just wading into it. What does this rivalry mean to each of you, and what are you bringing into it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the way I learned about the rivalry of Canada is through the veterans and the history and passing it down. And I think that one, it's our responsibility to do that and pass it down to this group so then it can continue. But I mean, from the beginning of time, we have been rivals with Canada. They're right there. We have battling with them. It's a bit of pride. And so going into this game, the mindset is we do not lose to Canada.
I think for me, like she said, you can learn from the veterans. I think that you can only really get the experience from whoa.
It's okay. Start over.
You can only learn how deep the rivalry is from experiencing it. So I think that I'm excited to see what it's like in real time. So I think, I mean, you always hear about it, but I think experiencing it, experiencing it in real time will be really cool.
It's a word that comes with experience.
Yeah.
As you get it gets easier and easier. For those of us who haven't experienced it, Lynn, give us the 1 minute sort of breakdown of what it's like to be on the field against a Canadian women's national team.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be physical. You're going to have to, like, be prepared, mentally be prepared to, like, go to battle, and knowing that, like, every single moment matters. So it's like a last-ditch tackle. It's making sure you're having the right passes. Sometimes it gets a little bit feisty. So having your teammates' backs, like, all of that emotion. First and foremost, you have to, like, meet that, and then you start talking about playing soccer.
Totally.
I've asked you guys questions, so I'll start with Kling here, and then we'll go through everyone. Do you have a favorite U.S.-Canada moment, whether that you played in or one that you just remember as a, for me and Jordyn, it'll probably be more as a fan, that you've experienced, or maybe at the youth ranks?
Kling,
Yeah, Jordyn's is coming up in a few days,
Kling, what was yours?
Mine was, I was actually a alternate on the 2012 USA Olympic team in London. And USA was playing Canada in, I think it was the quarterfinals or the semifinals of the Olympics.
I think.
It was in Old Trafford and Man United Stadium. And I was sitting in the bleachers. And I don't know if you all remember this game, but essentially Christine Sinclair took the entire country of Canada and put it on her shoulders.
Sounds about right.
And literally became a monster in real time. And she was like scoring all of these goals. We were chasing the game. Erin McLeod actually took too long with a goal kick. They flagged her for 6-second violation. We ended up getting a free kick, which ended up leading to an Abby Wambach goal.
Yeah.
And it was like so controversial. Canada is so mad. The tie is scored. Then Christine Sinclair scores again. And we're like, oh my God, are we going to lose to Canada in the semifinals of this Olympics? Like, this is outrageous. And then literally with maybe a minute left in extra time, Alex Morgan scores a header.
Yeah.
And the entire stadium goes absolutely nuts. I think it might have been one of the very best games that I've ever seen in my entire life. And in pure Sinky fashion after the game, sat down, went after the refs, ended up with a suspension and a fine.
Said
and it's pure lore now. Christine Sinclair lore.
That's so good. It's like, what's so funny about the rivalry is that, like, when they're in Canada gear and we're in US gear, I'm like, I do not like you and I don't want to talk to you. And then you get off the field and then they're like your teammates at home and you're like, hey, how are you doing?
It's way easier to say hi to them after a win.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're like, we hate you. My favorite moment, or like the one I remember the most, isn't as dramatic as that, but it would have been going into, it was 2019, the end of 2019, and it was Olympic qualifiers, and we had to play Canada to be the top of our group. And I just remember the first half was like so back and forth, and they were kind of like all over us, and we couldn't really get out of our own half. And then in the second half, I don't know what just switched, but Crystal hit a long ball over the top. Their defender went to go trap it and hit it out, but it landed straight at my foot. I take a touch and I hit it upper 90. Everybody goes crazy. Then the next play comes in. I lay it off to Lindsay. She scores. And then another one was, we were defending and Lindsay poked the ball. I grab it. I'm dribbling and I slip a ball to Pino. So it was, I was out of the pool for a really long time. And this was like my first tournament back. And I had a goal and 2 assists against Canada. And I was like, I think I've peaked.
I think I'm back.
And then obviously then COVID hit. So that sucked. But I will forever remember that game.
Those
really
are pretty
cool
good
moment.
ones. I don't think you can have any complaints about multiple goals and assists or of eventual gold medal from Kling. Jordyn, do you have a memory of whether it's youth national team or watching on TV?
Or just anybody you hate?
I think the only thing I can say is, like, I've been a fan, and I think, was it last it was maybe a year ago when y'all played Canada in San Diego for, was it the CONCACAF?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I was at that game. That's
Yeah.
when it had just rained and the field was like
Oh, yeah.
awful. And y'all ended up going into PKs and winning, but I think just being in that game was, I mean, as a fan to experience it was really cool. I think you could see the rivalry, like everyone was going at each other.
That is really cool.
It was crazy.
That was crazy. That wasn't even soccer. That was like,
No.
like you couldn't dribble, you couldn't pass.
No.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I think it was because that was one I was thinking of. It was Sofia in the 99th, and then Leon equalized in the 127th minute
Wow.
to end up sending it to penalty kicks, and the U.S. won. It has been, by the way, this will be the 67th meeting all time between the two national teams. So when you said the beginning of time, you were being serious.
Yeah.
Lynn,
What's the record?
When you mentioned that
Like,
before.
Do you know the record?
I have the U.S. is 53, 4, and 9.
So we're crushing it.
Yeah,
That's
we're crushing
crazy.
it. So
Yeah.
let's continue to crush it.
So Jordyn, don't mess it up.
I know. No pressure, no pressure.
But you guys mentioned a little bit of maybe angst or hate or whatever it is on the other side. You have a teammate who will be on the other side in Jordyn Huitema. Lynn, what's it like to play a teammate? And then, Jordyn, do you have any secrets to defend that extra Jordan Y that's out there?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's not even like angst or hate. It's just like annoyance. Like they're just annoying. And I think that like you get so good at going back and forth between your national team and club team, and to be able to do that, you have to compartmentalize. And so it's kind of the same thing when you're playing against a teammate. You have to be able to compartmentalize. And even though Jordan's going to be on the other side, like, yes, I know Jordyn, the person, but right now Jordyn plays for Canada. So right now we don't like Jordyn.
Mhm.
And I wish her well any other day besides that day, you know?
Yeah.
And like, that's just the mindset you have, but you get so used to doing that all the time. And that's how I feel for any teammate I come up against who's on the other side.
I think defending her in the game will be, I mean, she knows me, I know her, so I think it'll just be, I mean, fun. Obviously, we want to win. She's not my friend on the field. So I think that, I mean, it'll be fun.
She's learning quickly.
Jordan's
Yeah.
soaking it in.
She's
Yes,
like, I get
I'm
it. I
soaking
get
it
it.
She's like, no, I won't be nice. We
No.
won't have fun.
Yes.
All right, last one on USA Canada, and then we'll get into a few rapid fire fun questions. But chaos. That's how I would describe USA versus Canada. Pure chaos. Lynn, what would you tell a first timer like Jordyn about what she's walking into? Or do some things just have to be lived?
I think that we kind of both. Like, I'm hopeful that we could try to paint the best picture of like what you're about to experience, what the team is about to experience, and what it means to this team. But at some point, you just have to go through it and really experience it for yourself. And usually those are the times where you're like, oh, now I get what they're talking about and I get the chaos. But if I had any advice, it would just be like, just be ready for anything and everything and truly visualize the most chaotic game you could ever be a part of and prepare for that.
Yeah, I'll take that in.
I think the NWSL does a good job preparing
Yeah.
you for chaos.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're going to see it go down 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on July 2nd, Wednesday night in D.C. It is a pretty perfect time to do this game. Canada Day was on Monday. July 4th is coming up. And it is, of course, as we have said, a rivalry as old as time. Before we let you guys get out of here, you have to do the rapid fire. Emma Hayes did it, and so now it is required by everyone, is what we have decided off the back of that. I will start you, and I will say, if you're cooking dinner tonight, what are you making?
Maybe like pasta, like spaghetti.
Oh, probably
From scratch or from a box?
Not from scratch, from a box.
Cling just
She's
coming
18.
From a box,
in.
yeah. Still gotta
I
learn.
can't help
So-
it. This is my Italian roots coming out.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably making like tacos.
Love that.
Okay. Hard shell or soft?
Hard. Both, though. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm making them myself, it's actually both. I'm just going to say both.
Love it.
I'm not going to, like, order hard shell tacos, but like, I'll, for some
Yeah.
reason, have them at home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
do
respect
not
that.
travel well.
They do not. No.
They do not.
Shell's all broken.
Okay, so this next one is my friends and I always talk about what our walkout song would be if we played baseball, like just in life, or if we got to like walk out to a song in soccer. I know what mine would be, but I wanted to know what yours would be.
What is yours?
So I would, you know, the Lion King, where it's like, oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Okay.
Well, I would change the last word to cling and have that be my walkout song.
That's creative.
That's not what I thought you were going to say, but okay.
Me neither. And we did this last week, and I thought she did not say that.
I love listening to Lil Baby before games.
Okay.
So it would probably be one of his songs. And the first one that's coming to my brain is Drip Too Hard, so that's what I'm going to go with.
That's a good one. Probably some old Drake song.
Okay.
Can't think of anything
But not
specific.
for the USA-Canada game.
But no. No. Oh, no. I just got what you're saying. But yes.
Those are good ones. We were wondering, what would be one word your teammates would use to describe you?
Oh.
Calm.
That's a good one for a defender.
I think that they would say on the field or off the field.
You choose.
Okay, on the field, I think I'm gonna say like relentless.
Love it. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. We thought you were going to go off the field then.
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to do two. I was giving you the space.
Sorry, I can't think of two words.
You're like, I'm tapped out.
You're good.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Oh, night owl.
Night owl.
100%.
I've
Don't
heard that
touch
night
us in
owl
the morning.
people are like way more successful. Isn't that interesting?
Really? What are you
Yeah.
guys?
Night owl, 100%.
Early bird.
Oh.
I could tell from the messages where I'm like pretending that I'm also up functioning at the
Yeah,
same
like-
time, being like, yeah.
I don't know what you guys are doing in the morning. Like, I am not somebody to pop up right
No.
out of bed. Like, I need to lay there
Yeah.
and be a vegetable for a second.
Wow. I'm like up, taking my dog out, making myself a matcha, cooking breakfast, like having the best
It's like
time.
productive. My mom's like that.
That brings us to the next thing I want to talk about. Matcha. You guys are all liars. All of you guys who like matcha, liars.
See, I've never
Liars.
I don't like
How dare you?
You're like playing a joke on us. I think you're all. It
I think
tastes
they all
like
have
grass.
ownership.
Yeah, it's like it's
I
earthy.
will fight you till the death on this. Listen, you can come over when you play Gotham the next time or when you're playing in New York the next time, and I will make you my hand whisked matcha from scratch, and then we can talk and see how you like it.
Fine, but it tastes like grass.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
mean, who doesn't love a little grass sometimes?
Sometimes I like
Literally
grass
nobody.
more. than I like
No.
Lynn, I respect this. Thank you for speaking up for many of us who are too scared to speak up ourselves.
You're welcome.
While Kling is wearing a matcha hat, by the way.
But like, if a matcha brand wants to come sponsor me, I'm just kidding.
We're going to leave you guys with this one. Books, movies, TV. What's the best thing you're reading or watching or would recommend right now, or your go-to can't fail recommendation? I'd say there are like some things in my life that doesn't matter who you are. I know if I recommend it, you'll like it. Do you have one that you want to give the people?
I mean, the only like show I'm watching right now is Love Island.
Everybody's watching
Everyone's
Love
watching
Island.
Yes, this is my in. I've been waiting to talk about this for weeks.
Everybody's watching Love
Yes.
Island right now. I don't know, David, if you're going to enjoy it. You probably will.
I have watched it. I am not as consistent. I just finished Top Chef, so that was like the show I had to catch up on.
Fair enough.
So I'm open to going into it next.
Yeah. Just know
Okay,
there's a
then
lot of
my last-
episodes.
Now I have my last question.
Okay.
Kling's got 15 minutes now, so
yeah,
you guys
sorry.
lock in.
It's okay.
How do you watch it? Like, for instance, me and my girlfriend Ingrid, we watch it and we like literally will see a scene and then we'll log on to Instagram and we'll like see which scene they had just posted and then we'll like read the comments. And reading the comments while watching the show was literally one of our favorite parts. Do you have like a way that you watch the show? Or...
Well, in Seattle, a lot of the girls watch together, especially when we're on the road. I had to catch up, so I have not participated in the viewing, watch party. Thank you. And so there's that. Now that we're all away, we've been just like watching, and then we talk about it afterwards.
So the group chat's going off.
Yeah, it's more like of an in-person group chat, also known as just talking.
Yeah, okay, that okay.
Usually it's at like dinner or breakfast or at lunch, like we just talk about it because I think everybody like needs their alone time right now.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Islander?
Ooh.
Or couple?
Okay. You go ahead. You go first.
I don't think I have a favorite. Oh, well, I like Amaya now. At first, like, I didn't really, but I think she's one character you can, like, or a person you can really stick with because she's just, I mean, she's funny. She's herself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Amaya, Shelly, and Sierra would be my top three.
Yeah.
But in general, I need this group of people to get it together.
Yes. Yeah. They're all over the place.
Get it together.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Get it together. Like, there's just... This is what I think Love Island needs to do in the future. Like, they need to get people who aren't just on there for fame, who aren't trying to play a game, or like the prize pool needs to be down, or like something needs to happen, because I think everybody's like trying to play the game too much, and it's like, no, we want to see real connections.
Yeah.
And
totally.
drama.
One of the most recent episodes, Huda said, "I'm moving to LA after this."
I know. I did.
And
I
I'm
did
like,
see that.
oh, talk about playing the game.
Yeah.
I know there needs to be like the prize money needs to be revealed later on, like it's a surprise how much you get or something.
Yeah, they're definitely playing the game this year. Yeah.
My last thought on this is that I really feel like the producers have messed it up this year, because like I don't want to like reveal anything, but in Casa Amor they did it way different than they typically do Casa Amor. And I felt like it restarted the entire process of the show. And I love the show. I just don't like the first 3 episodes because I don't love the awkwardness of everybody getting to know each other. Like, I just want to get into the juicy bits.
Yeah.
I feel like it reset the entire show, and there's no real connections that I'm rooting for this year because of the way the producers have been interjecting themselves.
Well, I think that they felt like they were. This is now a Love Island podcast.
Yeah. And you fixed the TV show, so there's like 2 things happening.
Well, I think that they kind of had to, because they were like, "There's no real connection," but they should have just pushed Casa back more. Just like don't do that, but also. Maybe have a challenge that doesn't involve just making out and sharing milk. Like, actually, like, that was disgusting.
It was
like,
nasty.
just get maybe a challenge that actually connects people.
Like, get to know your partner.
I, for one, am shocked
So
that people are not finding genuine connection on Love Island.
Peacock, if you want anybody to give you tips, just hit us up here on the US Soccer Podcast.
Thank you. Follow, subscribe, like, rate.
We don't have to do anything else. We are done. You can watch them on the field on Wednesday, but more importantly, you can listen to this show, and we'll have you back postseason so that we could do the full Love Island recap.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being here. It has been a pleasure, and have fun on Wednesday. We'll be watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, Kling, this is why we wanted to do this show, a chance to show people a little bit behind the curtain about some of these stars on the team, some of the characters that make U.S. Soccer go. And I was already a huge fan of Jordyn Bugg coming into this. Super excited to see her get her opportunity, but I don't know how you can leave not being a bigger fan, and I think everyone's a Lynn fan.
Truly. And I'm excited to see what happens in this game for both of them, USA versus Canada. And I'm also excited to check in with them when we're all caught up on Love Island and to see what they're thinking this next week.
And thank you to Emma Hayes for starting Jordyn on Sunday and giving Lynn the captain's armband and having her score. It made it a really perfectly timed episode as well. But as you said, the game is coming up 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday night in Washington, D.C. So if you're in the area, go to the US Soccer website to get tickets. If not, you can watch and listen everywhere else. And of course, on the men's side, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday is going to be the Gold Cup semifinal. So it is two of the biggest games of the year happening simultaneous. You better believe I've got both screens up. You better believe it is going to be a furious evening of texting everyone what I'm seeing and experiencing it through everyone else and, of course, ourselves. And we'll be back here on the U.S. Soccer Podcast coming out once a week with all of these episodes about all the best stories. So don't forget to rate and review us and follow us and subscribe anywhere on social media or anywhere you get your podcasts.